Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. Today I just had a parcel arrived and the meadow dies came. And you might remember that I had this Quiet Meadow set and I didn't think I wanted the dies until I started to see what other people were making with them and realised they were a really nice set. And they're also a standalone set. You don't need to have the stamp set for them, because these cut out like the leaves and flowers and butterflies and a beautiful sentiment die and a little tag die. And as soon as they arrived this afternoon, I thought, right, I'm going to go play with them. And I started to cut some of them out on my little mini cut and emboss machine. And then I thought, while I'm cutting out, I might as well make a card. So I'm going to use just this floral image and the Thinking of You stamp from here, and I'm going to use a couple of the dies from here because I'm not quite sure which ones I want to use. And I'm also going to use some of this beautiful rainbow let's see what it's called, rainbow glimmer paper. I was going to call it glitter paper, but I knew it wasn't glitter. So the glimmer paper. I've seen lots of people make cards with these and they've done sponging or they've used blender brushes to make a background. But I thought I'd cheat and make something fast. And I wanted to use this design piece, this end of it. And I've used a lot of that in other cards. So really I've only got the yellows and oranges and pinks left. But I did have one tiny weeny little piece of the blue and green, which is this piece. So that's what determined how big my layers are going to be. This was already cut and it was cut at 4.5 by 3, which meant my layering pieces had to go up. I wanted them to go in 1/8 of an inch. So they were all 1/8 of an inch larger. And I've cut basic black and I've cut Bermuda Bay. So that's what it's going to be like. I'm going to attach these together. If you're adhering things onto the glimmer paper, I found that it's better to use something like the tear and tape because it sticks much faster. Sometimes the liquid glue can take a little while to fully dry. So if I'm attaching to here and I don't need something really too intricate, then I'll use the tear and tape. If it's intricate, sometimes you can put the die onto the adhesive paper and use it like a sticker, or you can use the liquid glue as well, but just be aware it takes a little longer. Okay, so I'm putting my basic black onto this Bermuda Bay as well. And I chose that colour just because it's here in the glimmer paper itself. And then for my base card, I'm going to use another colour that's in there. I'm going to use the Blackberry Bliss, and that's going to go right on here. So you've got sort of a double border, but I think it pops out nicely. And because the paper was already cut like this, when I cut these layers, I had 2 larger pieces left. So that's what I'm using for the inside. I'm going to do the same border pattern, but it will be just a little bit bigger. So I'm going to attach this one to here. We can't attach all of it yet because I'm going to do some stamping for in the inside. Let's pop that on there, like that. And I will attach that to the inside, but just not the white piece that I'm going to put for the sentiment to be written on, because I want to put a little image on it as well. And I don't like stamping once something's attached in a card. I sometimes find that I can go over the border a little bit with my stamping block and it'll rock, and then I don't get such a good image. So that's our base made there. Okay, so I'll just pop the lid on there. Now, to cut out, the only ones I've cut so far are this fern-like piece, and I've cut them all in basic black. So here's the fern-like piece, and this one here, which I wasn't sure if it was going to be a dandelion or a poppy or not quite sure what kind of a flower it is, but I've cut that one. And then I cut this little butterfly. I wasn't sure if it was going to have holes in the wings, and then noticed that the die didn't actually go round that piece. So it was just a silhouette there. And then I cut 3 of these little pieces. I'm not sure if I'll need them. These ones here. So I thought I might use them just as a centre for this flower here. I'm not sure if that's what it's meant to be for, but it sort of looked like it would fit on there. So I've cut 3 of those out just in case. And I've got this die ready for my sentiment, and I have already done that one. Okay, here we are. I couldn't see where I'd put it then. So I've stamped the Thinking of You on basic white, and then I've used this die cut to go around it. And I love that it's got this stitched edge and these little holes here as well. I'm going to thread a ribbon through those. So it just looked like that's what it was meant to be for. Okay, so let me do my stamping first. I've got my piece of Whisper White for the inside, and this was the image we were using. I haven't even put the backings on this yet, look. Still all in the box. I think I've used one image, which were these little dots, and now I've just used the Thinking of You. So later on I'll put the backings on, but I was too impatient. I wanted to play. Okay, so I'm just gonna ink this up. And when it's a big stamp like this, I like to have it on a block and put the ink pad onto the stamp itself, and that way I can tell if it's all inked. Let's just make this straight. I'm just going to put it over to the left hand side. Oh, isn't that pretty? It's like buttercups. I'm going to do the same on the envelope. Let's make sure I've got it the right way around. Let me ink that up again. I'm not going to colour them in. I'm just going to leave them black and white, but they would look really pretty coloured as well. I'm going to put it right at this side. It doesn't add anything to postage, or it's not going to get ripped in the mail. Oh, there's a little bit missing there, but actually my name label goes across there, so I'm not going to be worried. Okay, so let's start to build this up. It's going to be quite a fast card to make. I'm just not 100% sure which way I'm going to have it. I don't know whether I'm going to use the fern and then the little sentiment. I wanted this piece ready so that I could check which of the die cuts I wanted, rather than trying to guess how big this die cut would be with the sentiment on top. And I do like that. Then I've got this little butterfly that I want to pop on. But I also cut out this other one. Oh, that was just the right height, look. Good job. Good job it wasn't much bigger. I'd have had to chop a little bit off the stem. Okay, so... Oh, do you know, I like both. Let me just look at that fern one again. I do like both of them though. But I was going to use the fern then. No, I'm going to use the other one. I'm going to make another one with the fern. I'm going to make it in the oranges and yellows, I think, the fern one. So I'm going to have this off to the left-hand side. I don't always want things sort of centred. I'm going to have this off to the left. And remember what I said about getting things to dry on this glimmer paper. You can use tear and tape. Liquid glue just takes a little bit longer, I find, to dry. I should have run it through on an adhesive sheet and made it like a sticker, shouldn't I? But I didn't actually know I was going to make a card. Let's put that down and then just leave it. I am going to put the other little piece in the middle. I don't know if these are little leaves or if they are centres. Wasn't sure, and I haven't really checked out many people's designs with these. The few that I have seen though have had sponged backgrounds and they've looked so pretty. Now I've got just a little bit of seam binding left. This is the last of my second roll, so I'm going to have to buy another roll, but I just love this. I love being able to colour it with blends. It's one of the most versatile ribbons I think Stampin' Up have. And I'm going to thread it so that it goes through the back. Just scrumple it up and put it through that middle one. I think this would look nice with twine as well. But I don't want it to appear on the front of the sentiment. I just want it to look, you know, almost like a belt holding, and this is the buckle and it's holding it in. And then I'm going to pop it down here. I think I will put it on dimensionals though, because that's just a little bit raised though, and I think I'd like it to stand up a little bit, but I'm going to use my black dimensionals. I don't often use these, but when it's on a dark colour, I think it's nice. And then if you happen to look down the card, it will look, you know, it will look black. So I think that's what I'm going to use right now. I don't know. Let me just have a look. I'm a bit indecisive because I don't know what I'm making. Because I might like that standing up on dimensionals instead. I think I will. I'm going to put that standing up on dimensionals and this piece. Let's see if I can get it to go flat across the front and held in by that ribbon. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I could. Let's find some tear and tape. See where it's hiding. I know it's on my desk somewhere, but I can't just see it. Oh, there it is. It's hiding right at the back. I'm just going to use it almost like a piece of Scotch tape. I'm just going to tape the ribbon over, like that, and just not take the backing off. Tear a little bit more off, and then I'm going to trim that ribbon as well. Excuse me, find my ribbon scissors. There we go, and that will slide across just to where I want it. And it isn't exactly flat because it's not glued on, so it's still got a little bit of dimension on it. Okay, and then let's find some of the larger black dimensionals. Just because this is going on a dark background, the black ones will look better. And I do like the pack of these because when you get them, you get 2 of the large and 2 of the small ones, which I think is nice. I think that would be a good thing to do with the white dimensionals too. Have a mixed pack. At the moment we buy a pack of each, but I don't use as many of the small ones, so it'd be quite nice to have, no, just a few small ones and maybe more of the larger ones. I'm gonna pop this on the front, just center it up. And I will measure the sizes of these layers and pop them on my blog just so that you know what the sizings were. I'm going to pop this little one on as well. I'm going to give him a little fold. Just leave that back bit big enough maybe for one of the small dimensionals, or even a piece trimmed off. Let's see. Put that right down the middle of him. And I want him to be down here near my sentiment. So I've got just a little bit of the bottom of the butterfly that can go over the sentiment, and then the dimensional will just stick onto the glimmer paper. Pop him on an angle. I think I'd like him just at a jaunty little angle there. Okay, and then let's find my page to go inside. With a little bit of my liquid glue. Wow, what a fast card this is to make. once you've got those little die cuts made, it comes together really quickly. And because you're using that glimmer paper that already has all the colours in, there's no work to do in colouring the background or anything. There we are. Let's pop that down. See, it's not quite dry. There we go. So there we are. That's my little Quiet Meadow card. Ooh. Using my brand new dies that just came today. Well, I think I'm going to get a lot of play out of those. I'm going to enjoy using those. And I do love this little sentiment that you can put on a ribbon. And you could make a little bow on it as well if you wanted, but I only had that tiny piece of seam binding left. So thank you for joining me. If it was your first time joining me today, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. Check over on my craftsbythebow.blogspot.com for the sizings, and I'll see you all again really soon. Take care. Bye-bye.